Obeisances, dandavat, dandavat. So I see this meeting is being recorded. Zoom has told me. So anyway, we hope maybe the recordings are valuable to some as well, because who knows? Who knows this world? We want to be able to share what we can and try to keep intact what we got from our gurus, no doubt. So, dear devotees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 by 3 is 9. Udaran Prabhu joined us. Nahush, Chintamani, and Jayari Prabhu, Sevarupa Devirasi early in the morning, Paramananda Prabhu mid-morning, Leela Shakti Devirasi midnight and 2 minutes. And in Brazil, Kumkum Devirasi, always living in the present time, no doubt, as our exemplary senior devotee. And Pranshri Devirasi, she's on universal time too, popping up, looking after so many things. I have a question. Where do we see or hear the Bhakti Yoga for Teens classes? The children's classes I get to hear, and
I will share the link. I will share the link with you, Maharaj. I actually will post it on the chat.
Okay, but this is for the recorded ones, is it? Not just for when they're live? The link you'll give?
I mean, the recorded ones, because it was never open to the public.
All right, I'll be privileged if you can share that.
Of course, Maharaj.
And we here all will be privileged if you can share that, because no doubt there's some treasures are there. And we are happy to hear treasures. Jai. All right, and somebody just joined us because we've got more than 9 people. Radha Sundari joined us in Mayapur, probably. She's settled in Mayapur. Radha Sundari is born in Vrindavan, by the way. She's a Vrindavan Basi, Dham Basi. Now in Navadip, from where Vrindavan is distributed. Jai. All right, dear devotees. Yes, Radha Sundari. So dear devotees, first of all, let us give obeisances to each other. And on this occasion, then to Guru and then to Ranga, because we're coming together. So we're coming together on the screen, no doubt, but here we are. Let us give obeisances to each other first. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Then to Mahaprabhu. No? To Guru, sorry, to Guru and then to Mahaprabhu. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And to Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvijay Namaha. Then Panchatattva and Mahamantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Rakka, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, founder and charger of Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. And Jai, his inseparable servitor, successor, and glorious, wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai, the most generous distributor of mercy against all of the Western world, against all odds, you can say. One man coming alone to present Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, and to give us also Guru Maharaj and Guru Dev. Jai Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Guru Bhaga Ki Jai. And all assembled devotees Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. So here we are. We have Rupanuga Prabhu also with us from Australia, representing the Antipodes, which I don't know even what that word means, but anyway, they use that to refer to, as far as I know, Australia and New Zealand. Rupanuga Prabhu, welcome, and Dandavat. And let us just catch this jewel. Now a jewel, the Bhakti Yoga for Teens on Facebook. So let's just copy and paste that while we have it remembered in our minds. Excuse me. Govinda, Govinda. And good morning, good evening, and good noon. I have a note here that says that for the 16th of December, start with the question about Gaudiya Darshan quote from Kumkum Devidasi. Now, that leaves me scratching my brain. What quote was that? But I'm sure that both Kumkum and Praneshwari Dedi are on the ball. Maybe all the rest of you can also put up your hand and say, oh, yes, I know what she quoted. But anyway, I honestly can't just pick it up at this very moment. Let us start indeed, because it's the 16th of December here, 15th of December in America, I know, and Brazil, I know. Oh no, Brazil is already the same day. Aha. And Leela Shakti is in Brazil, by the way, just so, because that's why we're mentioning Brazil. She's there representing the South Americas. And by the way, very happy to see Jeevan has joined us and Deva Priya Devidasi joined us. More California Vaishnava representation. Jai. Both to you both, welcome and obeisances. So do we ask Kumkum Didi, what was your quote from Gaudiya Darshan?
Maharaj, it is a quote that sounds like it's from Shri Guru and His Grace, but I haven't been able to find any of it in that book. And the only source mentioned is a talk from 1982, wherein a disciple or an inquirer is asking Srila Guru Maharaj about when do I know that it's time to find my guru and how will I recognize him, and is it possible to take too long? And this is Guru Maharaj's answer. And I would like to know if you know any more that's exactly on this subject, or if you would like to comment on it. Would you like me to?
Do you have the URL?
I do. I have it up. I could post it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And
that may be helpful. So we've got our reference there. And everyone can think too. Is there somewhere where you have read or seen something relevant to this point? When is it time to find my guru? How will I recognize him, is it?
Yes. How will I know that I am ready to approach this guru? Actually, to read directly is probably better.
Okay, so now we see the link is here. So let's see if we click the link, what happens. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, how to find your guru. Srila Bhakti Rapa Kshira Dev Goswami explains how to search in a proper manner. Okay, this is fairly short also. It's not very long. Oh yeah, then you see the question. Marge, is it possible to spend too much time looking for a guru? Well, I can think of somebody who I think spent too much time. They've had association, not only met, had association with Srila Prabhupada, had association with Srila Guru Maharaj, had association with Srila Gurudev, but never took initiation. I personally think that's too long. Oh, well, let's read this. Let's read this, it's short. So here we are. And we are here to hear, especially from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. Actually, everything we do, really, we hope we are representing them. And here we have the direct words prepared for us here. So, Kumkamdeli, would you like to read this? Your reading is very good. We are very happy to hear.
Well, that's very kind of you. I think so. Let me see. Okay. The question, Maharaj, being a neophyte devotee, I was wondering what questions must be answered in one's mind or heart to know who your guru is. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, first is Shravan Dasha. You are to attend the lectures and hear the advices and instructions of so many probable gurus. And after that is finished, you can come to a conclusion by the suggestion of your inner spiritual conscience. In whom do you find the instructions and impressions which can satisfy the innermost demand of your heart? Then you are to select there. You are to decide that such deep, such spacious, such sweet, instructive waves are coming from a particular place, and that will be wholesome for you. In general, you are to seek in the Shastra left by the Mahajans what should be the qualification of a guru and what should be the qualification of a disciple. With the proper mood and guided by the Shastra, you will approach the guru whose position is unquestionable. You are to consult the Shastra, which contains the opinions of unquestionable spiritual masters, spiritual persons, to consult yourself, and then to approach the persons from which some average spiritual life may come. You are to approach them personally, one by one, all the possible instructors, and then you are to decide on whom your inner approval and accepting tendency selects to be your eternal guide, who can appeal most to the deepest sentiments of your heart and satisfy the deepest earnestness of your heart. Then you are to accept your guide. Suppose you want to visit a place such as Africa. There are so many guides, and you are to make acquaintance with them and then decide who will be the most safe guide to take you and show you that place. I am suggesting some necessary advice for you from my own experience, but ultimately you will be the judge in the selection of your guide. In consultation with the Shastra and the Sadhu, and then with your personal approach, you are to select whose association touches you deepest. You are to decide finally. The selection must come from you, and in this way, that will be safe. Question, Maharaj, is it possible to spend too much time looking for a guru? Srila Sridhar Maharaj, as long as you are not satisfied, as you do not feel maximum satisfaction, you should not surrender anywhere and everywhere. You should take some time. At the same time, you must be earnest and you must try as soon as it is possible, because human life is not a permanent thing. It is vulnerable, and at any time we may lose it. You must be earnest, but at the same time, you must tackle all possible sources and satisfy yourself. You must come in direct touch with them personally, or even through their writings. In any way, you are to examine them to have a taste of their instructions, and then you are to select that which suits you best, which you can trust best and feel, I must throw myself here, whatever my future fate is. With this idea, you are to throw yourself down at the feet of such a great Mahajan. But before throwing yourself finally, surrendering yourself finally, you will try your best to be sure. The most undesirable disaster is to leave one's guru. It is the greatest curse in one's life if one has to be separated from his selected guru. So we shall try our best that we may not have to meet such disaster. Always you will pray to the Lord, to the transcendental, please help me to select my guide. Please send me my guide. That will be your prayerful mood to the upper, all-omniscient, almighty. Please send me my guide. Please show me my guide. Of course, it is not possible for the disciple to know the guru, but with this sort of prayerful mood, you will examine as much as possible. We also did such. I wondered and wandered here and there and tried to test as much as possible within my jurisdiction, but I was dissatisfied. Then finally, when I was satisfied fully, I threw myself there. For more than 5 or 6 years, I ran hither and thither to different directions, searching after our guru. At last, after 6 years, in the 7th year, I came to accept my guru. More or less, you are all attracted by Swami Maharaj, so your general line will be to try with his appointed acharyas, but I don't say that you will finalize with them there. If anything comes to you from any other quarter beyond that, then you will try that also. Their instructions, advices, and their discourses, or any of their books, by somehow or other coming in connection with them, you are to select where you find the thread of future union, the same taste, same liking, same aspiration, the same chord that can bring harmony with the chord that is within your heart. As fast as possible, it is necessary, but at the same time, it must be considerate, not injudicious or insincere. Sincere, judicious searching with earnestness, this is what you are to do. Just as with marriage, according to Hindu law, once married, no separation is possible. Selected for life, no divorce system here. From a talk, 2nd of January, 1982. Maharaj, you are.
Okay, thank you for the notes. I was going to say, I'm not sure what question is coming after that, because Guru Maharaj seems to be giving a very comprehensive and very clear direction for the devotees,
Yes.
for the sincere seekers.
Yes.
And with also that reflection on his own life and his own experience. So what is the question? What question can there possibly be, Kumkum David? I say, okay, let us hear the question now.
If you or anyone has any more background on this particular talk, I was very surprised that being in 1982, it didn't end up in any of our books. It sounds so much like Search for Sri Krishna. And it seems extremely important to me because this does come. You could err on one way or the other. You could dive in too soon. You could be pressured by people who themselves are convinced. But if the pressure is there before the heart is satisfied for any reason, then there could be a disaster later and making somebody want to leave. Whereas taking the right amount of time, then the heart can, how he says, you find that the harmony resides with the chord that is within our own heart. And the other way, of course, can go too, that we take too long and miss the opportunity altogether, deceive ourselves in that way. It's a little bit different for us because it seems like by the grace of Lord Nityananda, we were thrust into extremely like wanting to throw ourselves for, we couldn't begin to explain it, but it was such a strong desire to do that. And so to help Srila Prabhupada, and all we can think now is that this was a very, very special dispensation of Lord Nityananda so that what we now have all over the world could begin at that time. But if we don't allow somebody else to satisfy their heart, then it will sound like undue pressure to them. So somehow there's a balance between the two. in our own eagerness, we may end up preaching a little bit too hard to somebody who doesn't really have faith. And on the other hand, we don't want anybody to miss out because they didn't know.
Well, we have the example of Gurudev, and Gurudev wasn't like forcing anybody or anything, but he was chanting the glories of Guru Maharaj. And so then everyone can hear who is Guru Maharaj, and then that never we see, oh, you must take, or like this at all, but it was almost an automatic hearing from the lotus mouth of Govinda Maharaj about Guru Maharaj, who you can think, who will not want to take initiation from Guru Maharaj? Something like this. So we certainly should chant the glories of those that we know, and we should chant the glories of all the Vaishnavas. But then the question then comes up, which is answered here by Guru Maharaj. How will we know who is our Guru when, especially when it's not like the Gaudiya Math time when there was one Guru, essentially. It's not like Prabhupada, ISKCON time when there was one Guru. It's not like Guru Maharaj time was one Guru, not like Gurudev's time there's one Guru. These have been actually very exceptional times to help get established around the world the Krishna conscious movement, as again by Paramahamsas, associates of the Lord, coming to this plane and bringing our Krishna consciousness, bringing Krishna consciousness to us. We can now think, oh, our Krishna consciousness, bringing Krishna consciousness to us here. So now we have to face the reality and say, yes, well, now we need to direct the devotees. We do have, as Guru Maharaj pointed out here, you have your appointed charges given by Srila Prabhupada, but I'm not saying you end there. So similarly, we've got the circumstance, also the appointed charges presented by Srila Gurudev, but we're not saying it ends there. And so very much it's a time for putting into practice all of the advices, and with this wonderful talk as well, which didn't in this form make it into any book. And I think it's not been the reference, because although some parts are included in Sri Guru and His grace, it's quite likely they were being taken from another class, because I think, like you, if this class had come to the front, then it would have been included in the books, in the book also. And there are many classes which are not in the books. And even when we hear the classes that are in the books, they're always fresh as well, too. So, yes, Paramanandapu.
An elaboration of that particular theme is in Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 3, one of the later chapters. I don't remember exactly the number of the chapter, but that gives us opportunity to read at least half of the book to find out.
Jai.
But Srila Guru Maharaj, he elaborates on that, and he actually goes into details, because really it's all about details. And over there he points out a similar question is asked: how am I to recognize that this particular person is my Guru? Will he be that ultimate personality? Who I am to listen? And in absence of good advice, who I am to listen? If sadhus are around me, if my friends are around me, they can point it out. So Guru Maharaj, first of all, he says that Sukriti, it always comes to Sukriti. It's really, somehow it's very important. In fact, like recently, we've been discussing with Goswami Maharaj this point, the importance of Sukriti. He says, Guru Maharaj says, what comes first, the mercy of the Vaishnava? He says, no, Sukriti must come first, that you can acquire that mercy. Mm-hmm. It's not by the mercy you acquire Sukriti. That's a different thing. It's a very subtle thing that he is discussing. So unless we got that fortune, that spiritual fortune, it can be of two kinds, as we know, Gyata and Gyata. Something that we acquire without even knowing that, by, we can say a good luck, supremely good luck. And something that we're doing, understanding that we will acquire Sukriti. We're happy to do that. And actually, we're not even thinking about Sukriti while we're doing that. We're just serving, and that comes naturally. So there is a reason why in that verse it is mentioned Bhagyavan Jiv. Bhagyavan, not just a regular mundane fortune. It refers to Sukritivan, Bhagyavan Sukritivan. It always refers to that. Nothing to do with mundane fortune of this world. So the spiritual fortune. You got to be a Bhagyavan Jiv to come in touch with that seed of devotion, which is actually the connection with the Guru, connection with the Vaishnava. And then Srila Guru Maharaj points out that, let's say, there is no living personality in front of you, who you will take advice, who you will take direction of. He says, according to the degree of hankering to connect with the absolute truth, to connect with Krishna, according to that degree in your heart, and according to the amount of Sukriti, you may listen to the Chaitya Guru. And we know the Paramatma and the Chaitya Guru, they're the same saying, but different. When Paramatma aspect is one and Chaitya Guru, one stays forever. Another one is a manifestation in this particular world, and it's also lots of intricacies about that. So we are to listen to the voice of the Chaitya Guru, and then devotee again asked, and how do I understand? Is this a voice of Chaitya Guru or it's my mind? And again, Guru Maharaj points out, that depends on the amount of Sukriti and intensity of hankering and sincerity of your inquiry. It's so beautiful, actually. If we go deeper and deeper, there's practically no end. And Guru Maharaj is the person who is able to answer all those questions. And by the way, Srila Gurudev, he also answers the same questions, but he adds a little sweetness for us. We all like sweets, we all like desserts. So Srila Gurudev, he adds that extra sweetness. And that is also addressed in Amnaya Tattva. Very similar aspect. But to the point of, again, there is another consideration that I heard from Srila Gurudev. When people think, oh, we have to wait, we have to be very careful not to get cheated. We shouldn't rush into accepting Vaishnava. And Guru Maharaj stresses that point too. You must examine a Vaishnava. Mm-hmm. And he even pointed it out to Goswami Maharaj, when Goswami Maharaj, a whole heart was, surrendering to Guru Maharaj's feet. He said, how do you know that I am not cheating you? You should also do some examination. Maybe I am cheating you. So that is also to be considered, but the life is short. So another point is how much you realize how dire is your position, mm-hmm. how much in need you are to accept the spiritual master. Again, Krishna will reciprocate. And we're seeing that it's a perfect example, and that's too long, I understand. You may say, oh, that's way too long. We have to go to all those plans of existence, like in the case of Bihad Bhagavatamrita, Galoka Mahatmya, the second part, Gopa Kumar. His intense hankering leads him to Galoka. And he goes to different places, but he is not satisfying his hankering. And that's what perplexes Narada Muni. He's seeing him everywhere. And then suddenly he is unable to tolerate. He has to question him. What is that you're looking for? You're in Dwaraka. Isn't that satisfying for you? Apparently it wasn't. So that kind of thing. There are so many points to consider. And sometimes, like, we came into the family. We are kind of born into this family. There's nothing they can do about it. But we're born into the family of the Preshta, like we hear, Preshtali Bhik Sevya Manam Smarami, Govinda's mantra. Govinda is there, being served by the most intimate associates. It's the highest conception. And we say, oh, we're not qualified. We can say that, but we are in that family. Our fathers, our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, they belong to that Gotra, to that family. There's nothing we can do about it. We cannot just close our eyes. No, we're not going to go there. They're taking us there, wanted or not wanted. It's just a matter of making ourselves qualified. So again, another point. But anyhow, Maharaj, it's such a wide thing to speak about, and it's discussed by Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, like constantly. And really, that was answer of Gurudev when I asked him whom to follow. Really, I said, Gurudev, after you leave, then who I am to follow. And he's pointing out, oh, these persons will be in charge here, that person will be in charge there. But then I said, yes, but I am, what about me? Any specific instruction? I said, Prabhu, You must find the one from whom you will feel the flow of devotion. The person who will inspire you, will feel he is your king. You will go on the same road with that person. Find that person. Naturally, I said, Gurudev, how can I understand that? And then he smiled and said, Guru Maharaj will help you. Meaning that go into Guru Maharaj's advice room, ask him. And we have so many talks, recordings, video recordings, audio recordings, books, etc. Madhusudan Maharaj, who was there, who could tell us what happened. Goswami Maharaj, who was there, who can tell us what happened. Anyhow, Maharaj. So, Sermons of the Garden of Devotion, 3rd canto, 2nd half of the book.
Jai. And also we come, and I see another quote here where I find, this is from Guru Maharaj also, it's in the Centenary Anthology. And Guru Maharaj is saying how we must recognize that and save ourselves. But then Guru Maharaj is saying that if we are sincere, no one can disturb us. So again, prayer, which we've just been hearing about from Paramananda Prabhu, and sincerity. If we are sincere, Krishna will guide us. And that prayer for Guru that we heard just now from the reading of Kumkum Devi Rasi of Guru Maharaj, that mood of prayer, and then the dedication. These three emphasized 2 weeks ago, and we're still kind of meditating on those three. So here we've got prayer, sincerity, and dedication. And we heard, and I didn't understand it. One of the many things I didn't understand, first of all, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, when saying nobody can cheat you except yourself. And thinking about the times we've been cheated in the past, out of thinking about material things, like cheated out of money and stuff like that. You tend to remember those times. I thought, okay, so I cheat. How is it I cheated myself? But of course, Guru Maharaj is coming to harmonize us with the environment, which does include being cheated out of money. It includes everything. But in this search, the search for Guru, the guide, the search for reality, this very much applies, of course, everywhere. What Guru Maharaj says applies everywhere. But nobody can cheat us except ourselves. So the Guru Maharaj's conversation from maybe January 1982 that we read from the web, Kumkum read, very instructive for us. But there are many places where you will hear or read from both Guru Maharaj and Gurudev about this process of devotional service. And as we have seen from Gurudev, sometimes Gurudev's answer comes to one word. How is it they can't recognize Guru Maharaj? How is it they came to him and still they went away and didn't stay, didn't come? They didn't recognize at all. And Gurudev in one word saying, Sukriti. So again, we thank our lucky stars that we've been able to recognize whatever we can recognize, again, by the grace of the Vaishnavas. And we wouldn't know, I wouldn't know, we wouldn't know about Guru Maharaj without Srila Prabhupada. We wouldn't know about anything without Srila Prabhupada. Mm-hmm. So again, coming back to Srila Prabhupada, we don't feel he's a historic figure. We feel he's our present, he's present and he's bringing the whole world to Krishna consciousness. But he's telling us about Guru Maharaj, as well as everything else. And then we came to Guru Maharaj. And so many devotees we've seen come from ISKCON background, from not ISKCON background, from fake, absolutely bogus, horrible things, horrible experiences with other gurus, which have got, taking, anyway, Shakti from, the Vedas, this, that, and the other, and absolutely exploiting disciples. The people have come from all kinds of backgrounds, but when we've come to Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, when we've come to our safe shelter, then we think, okay, whatever happened in the past, that's all due to me. We'll be we won't think really that about somebody else who's had to go through so much suffering. But individually, we will say, okay, whatever's happened had to happen to me, but now we've come to where we've got our life's experience to say, oh, now we've found the answer, we've found the shelter. Now let's put all our energy here, because another lifetime, another circumstance, how again will we come to the connection of our masters? Yes, maybe soon, maybe not soon. So many difficulties may come in the middle, and those difficulties will only come because of our own lack of not having dedicated when we had that chance to dedicate. And here I see that PD, Praneshwari, yes, Praneshwari Devidasi has put a quote in the box from Srila Gurudev, from Revealed Truth, which is also, I was also thinking in Revealed Truth. The lotus feet, should I read this?
It's beautiful,
Maybe?
yes.
Okay, well, here we have a quotation. We have, I mean, the foundation of today's talk coming from Guru Maharaj, and here coming from Gurudev, selected by Praneshwari Devirasi. The lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. Oh, is that the title? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, when Gurudev gives initiation, Krishna reveals himself. That is, Gurudev is revealed to be Krishna himself. Krishna reveals himself through the heart of Gurudev in his transcendental sound vibration form, Sri Harinam. Krishna descends through the preceptorial line of gurus, the parampara, into the heart of a disciple through the heart of Gurudev. In that way, Gurudev acts as Krishna himself. Still, Gurudev also has his own personal identity as a servitor of the Lord. He never thinks, I am Krishna, but always thinks, I am the servitor of the servitor of the servitor of Krishna. In this way, Gurudev is Krishna's dearmost devotee, Kintu Praborya Priyar Eva Tasya. Gurudev is a servant of Krishna, but a disciple must still always consider that Krishna is revealing himself in human form in front of him as Gurudev. The disciple sees Gurudev as a human, but knows that Gurudev is not actually human. Gurudev's actual form is transcendental. He is non-different from Krishna himself. Because this conception of Gurudev is very important, and we must be very careful to never lose faith in Gurudev, then Narottam Thakur sang, Vandomui Savadhana Mate. Be careful to not improperly glorify, be careful to not improperly glorify Gurudev in any way, okay? When Krishna takes form as Gurudev, he is so merciful to the conditioned souls. There is no doubt about that. Okay, so this is a description of Gurudev, and Gurudev is referring to the verse, the song, Samsara Davanala Lida Loka. And that kirtan, that bhajan kirtan, Gurudev explained that why do we sing this every day in the morning in the temple? And basically, all the temples everywhere, this is established by Srila Prabhupada, by Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, by Guru Maharaj, by Gurudev. And why? Gurudev saying, because it is so high conception, it is showing really who is Guru, what is Guru, who is Guru. And it is so high and so far, we have to keep banging it onto our head. So something of that will go inside and we will understand. So these are special topics. And there are many books, but there are many things not in the books. It is also true. Maybe similar subject matter, but in different ways expressed, etc. Hare Krishna. Jivana Devirasi. We're very happy to have you with us this week. I know you're not always able to attend, but here you are with us. And we'd love to hear a word or two from you, a word or two from you. In my best poetry, I'm asking you, humbly asking, but you'll have to click the microphone off or microphone on button.
Yeah, just didn't even want to change. This subject matter is so amazing and beautiful. I didn't want to change anything, and anything else that we can hear about this is amazing because it comes up a lot, especially with new people, and it's just really important to understand and to know. But I like what you said about banging your head to see if something will sink in, to keep banging things on my head to see if anything, please sink in. So, but so I just didn't really want to change the subject. And
But you can add beautifully.
yeah, I'm just it was just kind of astonishing to hear these things over, you know, like, oh, it should be so normal and natural, but then you hear it and you go, wow, did I ever hear that before like that? So just the importance and the beauty of the guru, and how wonderful that we have the gurus that we have that have established such beautiful temples around the world, and also inspired the hearts of so many devotees around the world, so we can find this kind of conception and mood and feeling in some of our own God brothers and God sisters very frequently. And even it's not so much a matter of who's been around so long, but it's just a matter of who, like you were saying, who had the intensity and the hankering to pick this up. So even some of the new devotees are very astonishing how they have picked up so much to be so dedicated to this movement. And they just are a complete inspiration. So I'm just hoping I can pick up a little bit of that.
And seeing the newcomers, it also reminds us of when we first came. And we came, you know, literally leaving everything. We turned around from the world and came. So what inspired us? What brought us? And that enthusiasm, we mustn't become blasé, or whatever the correct word, or like familiar, just by being familiar with what we're doing, and then we take it as ordinary. Right. And again and again and again, we're told that it is extremely rare to get this connection. First, extremely rare to get a human life. Look at all the other species of life, but extremely rare to get this connection. And we have all the pieces in right place, as it were, in the sense of, you know, a chessboard or something. I don't know what you want to say, but all the pieces that are in the right place. It's only our mind and intelligence, and what's that other thing? None of us have it, but it's called false ego, the thickest covering of all.
Awful.
My goodness, very difficult.
Awful.
But seeing the newcomers come with their enthusiasm, and that's why we must be honest with the newcomers and be direct. What answer when we are newcomers? We don't want any, you know, half answer or political answer or convenient answer. We're coming for the truth. Why are the newcomers? They're turning their back and coming to join the temples. They need to be nourished in the honest way that Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada all gave to the world. And here is nourishment. And by the way, although, I mean, not by the way, but although that particular lecture, I don't think that from that lecture, as I said, that's coming to Sri Guru in His grace, because otherwise I feel the whole lecture would have been there, that whole talk that we heard from the Gaudiya Darshan from January 1982. But in Sri Guru in His grace, like all these points are all there, but they're there in a different way. And as Jeevana said, we're hearing about these things again, and in this case, it's not the first time for many of us that we've heard it, but it's always fresh and always new. And this way, again, it's coming to us now. And why is it coming to us now? Because it's very relevant all the time. We can't sit back on our laurels, as it were. We want to always remember what we have and share what we have. And that is all part, this is all part of the very foundation of the science of Krishna consciousness. Because without the Vaishnavas, without the Guru, then our actual service life, which is the life to take us to Goloka, hasn't like come into substantial form. A connection has to be there. As we've seen, Hare Krishna, wonderful things, and Srimad Bhagavatam with its commentaries, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with its commentaries, with its purports, means Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada, the Chaitanya Charitamrita from Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada and Srila Guru Maharaj Gita there too. These are all givings from Veda Vyas, from Shukdev Goswami, from Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. They're giving us so much. And then let us, with our eyes open, another expression that Guru Maharaj used, we must come forwards with our eyes open. And he says, we will not be blind followers, but if there is such an expression as blind follower, there must be an expression of a seeing follower, when like that. And then by seeing, then we come forward with our eyes open, and then we commit. And then as the end of that excerpt from Srila Guru Maharaj, the earlier first excerpt, then they end there, Guru Maharaj saying something like marriage is like the Indian system, Indian marriage system. Once married, no divorce. This is the situation. Once coming to Guru, there we are at Guru's feet. No separation. So with our eyes open coming there, and we'll do our best to help others to have their eyes open through Shastra, through Vaishnava, and through Guru. And then, of course, by Guru, there is the Chaitya Guru and the external Guru, the Mahant Guru, that Guru that's outside and the Guru that's inside. And our inside guide will come to help us when we are sincere. So again, sincere prayer. Hare Krishna.
Once I asked one disciple of one of our gurus, she complained that I became, well, she said, I became a devotee, which is a big thing to say. But since then, I didn't feel anything. I didn't gain anything. I don't really, I feel that if I go to the Buddhist temple, I get more. And then, what did you do since you say you became a devotee? Did you do anything? When your guru gave you initiation, did he give you any instruction? He said, yes. So what did he say? Chant the holy name. Have you chanted the holy name? Have you used your beads? She said, no. Then why are you complaining? So again, people sometimes they're so simple-hearted, that grace coming down on them, but they don't know what to do. So Guru Maharaj points it out. When we have that sincere inquiry, we have to be ready to serve after we receive answer and directions. Service will actually take us there. That true connection will happen only through the service. No other way, no other way, no other way possible. And also it comes to the point of Sukriti again. When Mahaprabhu was present, did everyone become a follower of Mahaprabhu? Nope. The whole Puri became the followers, Mahaprabhu. No. They seen him in a many different way according to their realizations, according to their fortune. All of them recognize, no doubt, he's a great saint because he could see, they could see what happens. But did they actually understand that he's a Supreme Personality of Godhead? What did he come to give? The precious gift of Mahaprabhu. Did they recognize that? No, they didn't. Even in a close proximity. Because otherwise, why? So many followers of Mahaprabhu, so many Parshats, they kept saying, you fools. Like Prabodhananda Saraswati, Avatirne Gaura Chandre Vistirne Prema Sagare. Mahaprabhu, give the whole ocean of prema, something that is impossible to attain, something that even Krishna isn't capable of giving. He's giving it freely, and you fools, you're not collecting the gems. Vistirne Prema Sagare, Suprakashita Ratnange, you're Dina Dina Evasa. He said, you're the poorest of the poor. So it's always like that, always comes to the point of good fortune. And that good fortune comes from Sukriti. And in our case, Srila Guru Maharaj points it out actually, why Mahaprabhu is telling that Kurma Brahman. What did he say, Maharaj, the famous verse?
For the Sanskrit, I'm sorry.
Tarikahi Krishna Upades. That's Bengali, Maharaj. Amara Agyana Guna Hana Tara Eidesh, he says. Wherever you go, wherever you meet, always speak of Krishna. And Guru Maharaj points out, this is our duty. If we receive that fortune, our duty comes with that fact, to distribute it, to extend it to others. Regardless, fully realize, how much realize, that doesn't matter. We have to try and extend that fortune to others, because he said, what if the people will not get that opportunity? What are they guaranteed that the next life they're going to be in a human life and will, have a chance to meet with the devotees again, with the Mahaprabhu conception again? He said, before now their head is still above the surface. Feed it to them, give it to them before they go down into animal existence again. That's Guru Maharaj's words. Very interesting comparison. So that is our duty.
And my encouragement for everybody, please listen to the newly published audio that's on absolutesweetness.org, because actually some of these things, they are covered there. I mean, naturally, because this comes up, but some of these subject matters, they are actually covered there very much, and in a very sweet way. It's one of those kind of treasure recordings of Gurudev, being very informal, but we can see in his informality how substantial everything he says is, and it's a beautiful talk. And Sevarupa and Leela Shakti, they know my recommendation, because yesterday I heard it, well, not fully twice, but 1 2/3 times. I just put it on the loop, and I heard it once, and then I have to hear this again right now. And I've heard before, it's one of these things we've heard before, but it's we can say, okay, we'll say, as we always do, it's the best lecture ever. I mean, it's one of those things, just like the chapters of the book, it's the best book ever, these things. But really, it's a very sweet lecture, very personal, and very instructive for us. And some of these subject matters, they're right there in that one lecture. And we need to know, we need to feel, understand of those who've been with him. Remember the personality of our masters. They weren't just delivering philosophy. They weren't just Googles for understanding spiritual gradation or something. Guru Maharaj, fully personal in his dealing with the devotees. Gurudev, fully personal, dealing with the devotees. And this is a very sweet lecture by Srila Gurudev. This is a lecture by Govinda Maharaj, and I see Praneshri's put the absolutesweetness.org link there, and it's the latest one that's published. I don't know the name directly in front of me, but anyway, you'll find it. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yes, I had never understood about podcasts. I said, why a podcast instead of an MP3? I mean, just if all it is, it's an MP3 audio or maybe M4A audio. But I did sign up to the podcast, quite a while ago, and now I find its efficacy. Anyway, how efficient it is, because it actually pops up and tells you, oh, there's a new edition of this thing. So it's the only podcast I've ever subscribed to, and it's come up. So now we can think, oh, maybe podcasts are not just a fancy name for what already exists, but they have a place. Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, with a Vrindavan Chadda by the looks of it. Vrindavan Chandra with a Vrindavan Chadda joined us. And Jayadev Prabhu and a friend joined us. Hare Krishna, who is with you?
Hare Krishna. This is Varun, who you've seen before, but we've never been in the same place at the same time. So you may not recognize him.
Okay, we have met before, yes.
Yes.
Jai Varun, welcome back and welcome to be there and in the Asura Association of our Jayadev Prabhu. They are enthusiastic to do what Paramananda Prabhu said just a little while ago, that what was Mahaprabhu's instruction? Give this to others, share it, don't keep it to yourself, tell others. And so you are in the association of enthusiastic sharers, and we appreciate that, and so do so many. They appreciate that.
By your mercy, Maharaj.
Oh, by Srila Prabhupada, Gurudev, and Guru Maharaj's mercy, this is happening.
We do have a rare opportunity to hear something for Deva Priya, a long-time stalwart servitor.
An invitation, Deva Priya, if you have the opportunity.
Maharaj, all these years I haven't been in the back behind the curtain, so I like to stay like that, So don't like to talk much. So, but thank you.
Okay,
Good
but you do have mercy from Gurudev. So even if you're not willing to share that with us, do share it with some fortunate souls, please, from time to time.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
And Maharaj, in the chat, there is a question from Nahush.
Right. Good to hear from you. I would like to ask a question. Oh, Nahush. So Nahush is with us and regularly with us these days and meeting in different places online. Nahush, welcome. I would like to ask a question as well on this subject. How to get rid of self-doubt and take action when the time is right, instead of second-guessing ourselves and not acting once the opportunity presents itself. How to be courageous in this endeavor and not be foolhardy. I have a fear I may overthink and miss my opportunity. Well, my answer to this will be to read again Sri Guru and His Grace, to read again today's excerpt from the Gaudiya Darshan, to follow those guidances means our sincerity and our prayer. Consider these things, look in your heart, and from prayer, answers do come from prayer. So you do make some prayer, and in a personal way, make a prayer. The Lord will hear you, and the Lord, He will give you guidance. And then at some point, you will know when you have to jump rather than stay seated comfortably in the chair. I am afraid this whole uncertainty, which I can't say, but about the virus and everything, but so much uncertainty. We can surprised how hundreds and thousands of people jump who have not yet jumped. So before it's obviously the time when we should jump or think we should have jumped, we should try to jump when we know we should. And Guru Maharaj makes some reference to this idea of jumping, that when we know something is right and worthwhile, we'll jump, we'll go there, even if it's a tall wall and we may break a leg or something. But when we know we need to get to that other side, get out of this plane and make our stand there, go there, then we will risk something on the journey. But we'll have that conviction. I may get so many difficulties, difficult to go. I'm convinced now that
Maharaj, try changing your internet
English,
connection. You're breaking up.
Okay.
That's for the last maybe a minute and a half. You're breaking up a lot. I think now he's changing that. Maharaj got two.
Well, I can say you were breaking up. So was it me or was it you? It was me. Okay.
Well, I could see everybody else animated, but
okay.
You. So maybe it was you. But
okay,
if you
no
say
problem.
It's me, that means it's
We
me.
were checking by Paramananda's face in real time to figure out whether it was us or you. And
So
I
it
can tell by
was
Paramananda's
certainly
face.
me, yeah. It's always difficult to know, but thank you for letting me know. Otherwise, I'm without anybody understanding what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, anyway, I think I've said what I had to say. Or whatever it was that got broken up. Sincerity, prayer. Oh, the penny dropping, the English expression. When the penny drops, this expression, oh, now I got it. Then we will take everything seriously. I mean, take the steps. And what I was saying before, that was about jumping. And Guru Maharaj saying that if we know, once we're convinced, there, I have to go this direction, then even if I have to jump from a high wall to get, to continue on the journey, I'll jump from that high wall, even at the risk of breaking a leg to go, because broken leg is nothing compared with where we're going to. So we will try our best and not be doubtful. And again, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, we should not be doubtful or we'll be lost. We need to develop. So whatever faith we have, we must try to develop that. And that as we get, we've been talking about Sukriti, as we get more Gyata Sukriti, in other words, we consciously try to serve the devotees, do devotional things, use our time for devotion instead of for all the unlimited other things that our time is being demanded for by, we may not think it's Maya, but by the material environment, things which have no lasting value. Then as we get Gyata Sukriti, then quickly our journey will become more solidified and our conviction and lack of self-doubt. But yes, I may be doubtful about myself, but I'm not doubtful that I've come for proper shelter. And then that way our own weakness becomes a strength in a way, because we're submitting, yes, I need guidance, I've come, I'm here. This kind of thing.
Two things to consider, Maharaj. Too much analysis creates paralysis, and suspicion leads to suspension. So not to overdo those things.
Hare Krishna, and Govinda Nandini Devirasi is with us too. Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, with our hearts also, hearts for each other. And what about a final summing up word from who will give us a final? Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu. We haven't heard from you for a long time on back to basics, no doubt. But good to see you're up early in the morning and that you're with us. Please give us a couple of words. Click the button. Oh, yes, there he is.
My morning obeisances from Ukraine. Well, I'm not sure what to say, and really, I don't know what to say, but here in Ukraine, everything is moving on. I just came back from Kiev, where we have beautiful temple, and we are going for this, how to say, it's Christmas Eve or something like that, to Govindaland, where there will be a great festival. Oh yeah, and there will be an appearance day of Shiva Bhakti Sundar Govinda Day with Maharaj very soon, which is which I'm like, which I would say, which all of Ukrainians are waiting so much, and I hope there will be some festival online or something like that, which is very nourishing every time, and to see all the Vaishnavas here is very nourishing too. So I'm very thankful, and I'm very happy to see you all again. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Vrindavan Chandru, and to Harimati Devirasi, who must be nearby somewhere also. Our appreciation to you both. And yes, going to Govindaland for Christmas. Govindaland, what they call the castle, but we would call it a mansion, there in the central western side, a bit of Ukraine. And if you don't know where Ukraine is, get a map. It's quite a big country, and there are lots of devotees there, just as there are all over the world, spread out here and there. And it's not Ukraine, it's Krishna's land. Everywhere is Krishna's land. Man just decides to make some claim on some parts of it, but it's all Krishna's land. And yesterday we were reminded, you were saying the Gurudev's Vyasa Puja is coming up. It is indeed coming up, and we'll have another back to basics before the Vyasa Puja. But we were remembering yesterday how last year we were doing the puja to Gurudev at the Samadhi, Pushpa Samadhi here, in the snow. And we just thought, oh, Gurudev must be very happy with this, because he wanted to see the snow. And in St. Petersburg, when he was there, then it was like Gurudev's last opportunity, but it wasn't yet the snowing season. It was, I think, October. And then by Gurudev's desire, like 2 or 3 days before he's due to leave St. Petersburg, and he'd been asking about the snow. Oh, I want to see snow. And they say, oh, Gurudev, it's too early. And then it snowed so nicely, and the devotees, so many devotees told how Gurudev was so happy seeing all the snow come, and the devotees there made a snowman outside his room. So all very sweet. Anyway, so last year here in Italy, Villa Govinda Ashram, it was snowing during the puja, and we are all very happily remembering Gurudev and thinking, oh, we think this is a gift of Gurudev also, that the snow has come to worship him. All right, time nor tide waits for no man. That's in sloka from the English, whatever it is, the England Sanghita. Anyway, time nor tide waits for no man. So let us continue, and with these the conviction which is being instilled in our heart by the grand masters, our grand masters, Srila Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And so a wonderful discovery by Kumkum Devidasi to bring our attention to focus focus us to this article of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Article means, again, a very personal conversation between Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and the sincere inquirers, because really lots of sincere inquirers coming to Guru Maharaj's lotus feet at that time. Sincere out of circumstance. amongst a very difficult time in the Western world at that time. All right. Udaran
Jai
Prabhu
Srila Bhaktivinoda Madhusudan Maharaj ki
Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Udaran Prabhu, and to each of you, always happy to have everyone's association and presence. And Jai Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. And all of our senior devotees here, Kumkum Devidasi ki Jai, Jivana Devidasi ki Jai, Praneshri Devidasi ki Jai, and last but not least, our Paramananda Prabhu ki Jai, and where's Bhagavan Prabhu? I saw earlier, maybe not. Anyway, sometimes he's with us. So all of the senior and junior, to all the devotees, as Gurudev says, who is junior, who is senior? We cannot tell with our eyes. So, Ananta Kota Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And if any of you want anything that's in the chat box, the absolutesweetness.org reference, the reference for the talk we heard from this morning of Guru Maharaj, or the Bhakti Yoga for Teens, if anybody wants these references, they're all in the chat box, but they'll disappear in a very short time. Oh, and on Facebook, I didn't turn on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook is full
Facebook
of affection for you, Maharaj.
Oh, is it? Oh my goodness. Well, we'll take a look in a minute. Actually, out of circumstance, we did a program here last night, and then the battery was dead when I came this morning on the phone, which is where I get to Facebook from. So please excuse, I didn't turn on Facebook today. Those of you who've been with us live on Facebook, I'll catch up with the comments in a short while through Praneshri, but appreciate your being with us. And of course, everybody who will see us almost like live, I mean, recorded. We're very happy to be able to be with you, share with you. And please come again and again to be with the good devotees here. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Dandavat, best wishes to everybody. See you soon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.
Ami Ashchi.
Hare